Hello and welcome to Andertons Music. My name's Jack and I'm here in my slacks for good reason, because I think I need a bit of a space around my legs because I'm going to get very excited about the Roland JDXi. The Roland JDXi is an analog slash digital crossover synth. It's brand spanking new. I'm very lucky to be able to touch it. I can even make it probably a little bit clammy. I am a bit clammy. It's quite hot in here. And first impressions are, it looks a lot cooler than I thought it would do. But let's dive straight into the first bit, which was the analog part. Everyone's quite interested in this. I'm interested. I'm sure normal people aren't interested. But let's just play some notes. So this is middle C. And that's just on the saw wave. No effects. Okay, so I'm going to drop that down and see how far it goes. Oh, very wobbly. We'll go back up. Got a lovely little oscillator button here. I'm going to flick across. Cool, so that's the triangle or sine. I'm going to go across to the pulse width, square wave. That's in the middle. Sweep the pulse width. Very exciting. Cool. And then on each one, what's nice is we've got a little sub oscillator button. So if you like the sound of this saw wave, instantly got a bass sound there. Let's hear that on the. Be great for a synth bass player. Yeah, nice. Oh, widdly, widdly, widdly. Hear it on the square. Now, I'm going to hold some notes and we're going to do some filter sweeping, which is always the most exciting part of a synth video, I'm sure, to everyone out there. So no sub. I must say, on that sub oscillator, I could have clicked it on and got an octave below. So you can go 2 octaves below on the sub. Let's hear the saw wave on its own again. Cool. We're going to sweep with no resonance. Creamy, some might say. Smooth. It's all analog. This bit is all analog. Analog oscillator and filter. There's the squidgy bit. Resonance, I'm going to put a halfway. Smooth, going to crank it up to see what we got. A little bit of stepping, but it's cool. Well, that's enough for any filter sweeping from anyone. Let's just do it on the other ones quickly. So resonance off. Really like the triangle on this. Sometimes I find that they don't have enough volume or presence. Especially on some of the other mini synths, I found that they were lacking in that. A lot of synth bass players I work with are looking for that, a really present, fat sub sound. Bit resonance. Let's go to the square wave. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Cool. So that's all analog. Everything that you were hearing there, legit analog. And I must say, sounds great. I'm not, blown. I find it really hard to get blown away because there's so much great analog stuff out there at the moment. But that's really nice, and it's so simple to put the sub oscillator in. Nice job, Roland. Let's go to I'll just touch for the moment on the effects, because the effects are digital. So if we were just using this as a mini analog synth, we could start off with a saw wave, wide open, no resonance, back to where we were before. Let's drop it an octave, and let's put on some effects. So the first one we've got on here is, we've got a group of effects. It's distortion, fuzz, compressor, and a bit crusher. So let's have a listen to those on the analog sound and see what it does to it. So we're going to turn the distortion on. So pretty fuzz. Compressor. So you can get a lot more volume out of it with that. That makes our little speaker here pop out. Lovely little trick with any synth sound. Bit of compressor on it really makes it stand out. Bit crusher. Cool, I could put an arpeggiator on so you can hear it probably a bit better. The bit crusher working on there. Let's do the same with distortion. Fuzz. Cool, so they're all the crunchy type sounds we could get. We turn this effect off and then we go to some modulation effects, flanger. So I'll turn that on. Exciting. Phaser. Ooh, that's almost aquatic in nature. I'm just looking at Tim. Tim's in the corner, not here on my own.
Hi.
Hey Tim. Ring mod. Not enough ring modulation in the world. Pretty cool. Sounds like a tiny duck. A little duck just on the level of the water, gasping for breath. Yeah, that's the sound I was looking for that the other day. Looked at some of the modulation effects. We've still got a delay and reverb digital here. You can go in and change everything about the delay. I had a quick look. It can be panned and change the time, mix rate, everything, but we'll just have a little listen to it. So we've got our saw wave. Bit of reverb. Again, all those parameters are in here, pretty quick to get to. Just a menu button press. Really quite succinct, lot of control on here. My first instinct was that this was, along with a lot of other people I saw online, you know, a microKORG, maybe even a rip-off. It's absolutely not at all. Even when you get here, there's so much more control on here. I love the microKORG. And the other criticism I saw levelled at this before I got a chance to play it was that it was somehow, you know, again, a toy keyboard, or the assumption that these aren't professional keyboards. I mean, that's such an odd term. It gets brandished about a lot in music shops. Everyone's a professional and needs everything immediately, and it needs to be the best. But in reality, you see guys, like I love a chap called Adam Blackstone, who's Justin Timberlake's musical director. He plays the microKORG, old and new, for all his synth bass sounds. Hey, this one, I can't see why he wouldn't change to something like this, because it's got that real analog sound in the small package. The keys are just as playable. Really, really playable. You can do all your widdly, 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 widdly. Let's stop doing some widdly, 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 widdly and look at what else is in this keyboard other than the analog synth. Rarely for myself, hopefully we got straight in and listened to those analog sounds and had a bit of fiddle. We'll do some more playing and hopefully you can hear it, because I'm guilty of that all the time. Just a quick overview of what's going on here and what can be going on at the same time. Essentially, you've got 4 parts to this synth. You've got a digital synth 1 and 2, so they can be 2 different tones from the digital synth engine here, using supernatural synth tones, so they're in their posh keyboards, the Jupiter and such. Also got a drum section. All of this can be running along with the analog synth section, so you can have 4 parts, and that's the really cool part about this integrated with the sequencer, is you can get some pretty complex sequences and grooves going. I love that. The groove box. Very rarely are they groovy, but I'm sure mine won't be groovy when I get round to doing it as well. We've got 256 programs in here, all can be overwritten, and in that program it'll store all the memory of what you've put into the digital synth 1, 2, drums and analog synth. So say you're working on a song and you've got a nice little collection, like a 909 drum kit, the synth is set up for like a square, with loads of resonance, getting audacity, and you've got a pad and a lead sound. All of that will be stored in the patch. You can even bring up your little pattern and your groove and see what you're up to. You've got 256 of those. A little bit of the flow of it, because I love how it's set out. So if you were using the analog synth, that goes into an all analog filter. The digital parts of the synth, including the drums, it's a digital filter, and that all gets summed into the effects, which are digital. That's for the people that love knowing which bits are analog and digital. It's also got a vocoder that we're going to try to do some silly bits with, or maybe even something beautiful. I don't know if I can do beautiful vocoder. We're going to try that out. When you're using that, you can't use the analog synth section because it's just so good. Really lovely. Look at that. I don't know if you've got that, but that is lovely. Very sturdy gooseneck. Okay, looking at the digital synth sounds, it doesn't have to be all digital synth. What's really cool, and what I liked about the microKORG as well, because I think a lot of people have been drawing comparisons, but just I've already touched on the fact that, hey, this has got the real analog gubbins in there. But if we look at the keyboard section, we've got first patch comes up as a little well. We've got a lovely, you could, a bit of clap. Let's have a look. I'm just flicking through. Ooh, steel drum, what? Oh, I didn't know I had those chops. Acoustic guitar. Isn't Tim lovely? Cool, so, hey, we've got, funk guitar. That could be useful. Oh, with a bit of modulation. So we got those bass sounds. Let's flick it. Very sturdy knob here. You're not going to hit that accidentally. Oh. Duck to beat. Reverb. All the classic stuff. These are all from their Moog bass. These are all supernatural and super lovely lead sounds. The super saw wave here in mono at the moment, but let's have a look what can happen. Program edit. It's the first thing that comes up. Love you, Roland. Polly. Oh yes, lovely. So we can do. You could have this as a little top keyboard when you're gigging for weddings, or cool, so that's great. Strings and pads. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of bell pad. And emotional in here. Oh god, I hit the wrong button. Well, we were flicking. I hit the wrong button. Oh my god. We even got brass and little secrety sounds. Hey, effects and other. What? Did someone say film score? Scary. I'm just playing one key. Tuned Winds, this one's called. This is, they sampled it post Christmas dinner, 1987. It's the Tuned Winds of a group of men in the Roland programming team after lots of Brussels sprouts. Right. Don't believe me, just rock. I think that's what the kids would say after a sound like that. So you got bucket loads, real proper mini synth. Screw the analog stuff for a second. You've got a polyphonic synth, really playable keys, pitch bend mod wheel, all of that again. I could be playing riser. Oh god, no, I'm on funk guitar now. But the filter is right there to change that character. Billy Ocean. Even resonant. Woo, nasty. Ah! Cool. Different filter types there as well. I'm just going to say bandpass. But I've heard enough filters for a bloody lifetime. It sounds cool. Let's go down here. Oh, I've just noticed something. When I go to the analog synth there, back there, it shows me that that filter now is using the analog filter. Rock and roll. Okay, probably time to look at some drums. So I'm going to hit drums. First thing that comes up is a 909 kit. So. Another thing I'm down with the kids with, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to go mustard on that beat. I spit lyrics. I don't spit gimmicks. Got a 180 IQ and a degree in quantum physics. Just looking at Tim and rapping awkwardly. Cool, so 909, 808. Here's some toms on the 808. That's using the cut-off filter there. 707, 606. Oh, we got bucket loads of kits. Right, so hopefully you've heard a little bit of the sounds there. I'm sure someone's going to go through it in great detail on another video. I want to see how they all go together quickly, because that's one of the big selling points. I believe I can fly, and I believe I can fly with the Roland JDXi. I've been away for probably just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. I had a little bit of work to do on the JDXi, because I wanted to see how the 4 parts go together, see if I could sequence it. So I've had a little fiddle. I've got a TR606 drum kit here. Hype. Got that. Got a tempo of roughly 115. Well, it's exactly 115. So That's pretty funky. That's pretty funky. Then I'm going to jump from my drums to the digital synth section. I've got a sound here, and that essentially is octave pad with the filter all the way down. So I've got a nice little hollow sound there. If I record it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's in there. I've got another little sound here. This is from Digital Synth 2, and I just thought it'd be cool to put in a normal like PCM wave sound. So it's like a funk guitar 1. A little bit cheesy, but who cares? So I'm gonna kick it off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Flick to the analog synth section. Till I turn this down a bit. Yeah, we've got this analog synth section. Just got it on a sawtooth wave. There it is. But I'm going to flick that down the octave. Cool. So we've got everything in there. I can even adjust. Make that squelchy. So this is using the shift section, and then these turn into part mutes. So we've just got the drums going, and they're back in. That's just changing the filter on the analog synth section. But what I like is the bass comes back in before I start whittling. So, as a keyboard player who likes a bit of whittling, I got a drum set up. Just a lot better because keyboard players, loop pedals are really hard to integrate in, for me anyway. Can't seem to get them in time. So using a little pattern sequencer like that, built up a little groove for me to play over. People more dance inclined, you can see that you've got drums and 2 synths and an analog synth section to really get quite full, complex ideas down. And you've got a lot of flexibility here in the sequencer along with the bit of menu diving. But hopefully that gives you an idea of what it sounds like. Gonna spend a tiny little moment looking at the vocoder because it's such a lovely microphone here. Had to fiddle about with the mic sensitivity quite a bit. Got it right down, but enough to show you some sounds. Don't know any stats unfortunately because this is the first time I've met this beast. Lucky enough Roland kind of dropped it off. So let's have a look. We're on a vocoder preset bank. Got a robot sound. So we have a robot sound. I don't know why I don't change the pitch of my voice when I'm talking like a robot, but that is it. What is it? Robot. Uptown Funky. I don't know if that's coming through, but saw wave. We've got a rise up. I don't know who would ever want that, but that's in there. That's called Rise Up. We've got VP30, 330 classic vocodery sound. Ooh, everybody loves the sunshine. Got a little bit lost there because, hey, I'm not being blown away by the vocoder other than something like this.
Hello Tim. Hello Tim. This keyboard makes me sound like an angry small girl. I'm so excited to play with this keyboard. I love Rust. Rusty Spoon.
Anyone? That's a reference to another YouTube phenomenon called Salad Fingers, which I quite like.
Hubert Cumberdale. I love Rust.
I could do it even. Is that? Can I be more sinister than that? Let's have a look. Can I be more sinister? I love Rust. I love a rusty spoon. Just a diamond in the rough. The lamp! Give me the lamp, boy! Well, yeah. I don't know why we actually just looked at the vocoder, but let's conclude. In conclusion, the Roland JDXi, my first impression when I walked into the room and a lovely chap from Roland had left it here for me was it looked a lot cooler than I thought it was. From the picture, and from the pictures I saw online, like everyone else that came out of NAMM, or NAMM, God, NAMM, awful, pasta. Love these little bits on the side. Let's give it a weight one. It's nice and light. The mini keyboard, if anyone's interested in that, I think it's very playable. It's, if anything, probably a little bit more playable than the Microkorg, but they're both great mini keyboards. Analog synth section, all analog, really interesting. And once I got my little brain around the sequencing, it was really fun to use. Don't discount this as just a good top keyboard. You've got brass sounds and some electric keyboard sounds in there, great synth sounds. So if you're in a function band or any type of band and you just want a small keyboard to go on top with a huge variety of sounds, but also that kind of analog legitimacy that this brings, I think it's got its own place in the market. Very interesting little bit of kit. I like to end on a demo and awkwardly walk away because I think a lot of people like demo buttons. I do. There isn't one on here and it's a big letdown. It's a big letdown, but it's made up for it in other ways, even by calling itself the JDXi. So we're gonna just pick a patch here. Let's have a look. What do we want? Ooh, Late Night. There's one here called Late Night. And we're just going to see, each one has its own sequence, so let's have a look. I think it's almost the perfect way to end this video. So thanks for watching me fiddle about. I'm going to leave it here and point the microphone at you. Voice your views.